Because, I mean, everybody be checking in. That's your favorite thing to do, check in with somebody that's gonna rob your stupid ass.
Wow.
Yo, you think that guy, the guy that you don't know in California got your back? The guy that got beef with other hoods and all this, you checking in?
The streets are buzzing louder than ever about this whole checking in drama and the dark reality of extortion running through hip-hop. Whispers are flying nonstop, and every conversation is circling back to one name.
It's his name. They're not a mob. Mob ties is like the white boy from Malibu Most Wanted. Jay Prince Jr. and his son, they like the Malibu from Most Wanted. They're not no real gangsters.
Right. For what? Don't call me. Right. Oh, it's you having a nerve to call me sometime. Like, like, what are you talking about, bro? I'm playing video games. My daughter got a soccer game tomorrow, bro.
Drake, and the man who's always been painted as his so-called shield in Houston. All eyes are locked in, waiting to see if the bond is real protection or just smoke and mirrors. The man with a reputation of being both Drake's shield and, at the same time, an alleged extortion king, Jay Prince. And here's where it gets wild. The latest whispers say Jay Prince has actually turned his back on Drake.
He was feeling how some dudes was like looking at him sideways at his jewelry or whatever.
Yeah.
And he started to get kind of nervous, and he called you up.
No, he didn't call me up personally.
Well, somehow it got you.
You know, two ways you could put out the blast. It could go to everybody who was, he put the blast out that he felt threatened.
Right.
Yeah.
And you showed up.
Yeah.
And from what I heard, you let them know that nothing was going to happen to Kanye.
Nah.
That's not how it went down.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, nothing was going to happen to him. Not while I was there, nothing was going to happen to him.
Did you feel that Kanye was being paranoid, or do you think that something might have actually happened with the people that you confronted at that point?
No, he wasn't being paranoid. They had chairs pulled up to his table where he was eating at with his friends, and they wasn't eating.
Oh.
Yeah.
So something was about to happen to Kanye.
Yeah. Yeah, it was real.
It was real.
Yeah, they played the food was cold. There was only a couple bites taken out of them. And it was just like a weight off. Like, hurry up. And when you come out of here, it's going down. So I got Kanye, yo, you know this guy right here? It was like, nah, I just pulled the chair from him, yo, fruit. And Kanye had his jewelry tucked in. He take your chain out. I mean, that was like a badge, that Rockefeller chain. Like, you don't do that. At least I didn't roll that way. And that was my brother. Like, we was rock la familia. We was the family. So taking from him at that time was like taking from me.
How did the guys react when you confronted them?
As they should.
Took a few steps back.
Word on the block is that Drake tried flexing his muscle, pulling strings to ban any rapper connected to Kendrick Lamar from performing on Houston stages, fully convinced his so-called godfather would stand tall behind him. But when the smoke cleared, things didn't play out the way Drake imagined. Schoolboy Q pulled up in Houston and flipped the whole conversation on its head. He stormed the stage with zero fear, zero hesitation, showing the world that Drake's so-called mob connections don't rattle him in the slightest. But Q didn't stop there. He went right for the jugular, clowning the entire checking in culture as goofy, humiliating, and way beneath someone like Jay Prince, who's old enough to know better but still insists on playing these childish street boss games. So now the question becomes, what's the real truth behind Jay Prince and this extortion story?
I don't understand, what is the no-fly zone? What does that mean? Because I mean, I've come to Detroit and had marvelous times.
We shot movies together in Detroit.
So, but what does this no-fly zone mean?
It was for record labels.
Okay.
When record labels used to have like street teams, and that was back in the A&R days. You know, they would have a promo team, take the artists, you know, A&R take the artists to different locations, and it was like they were just coming to Detroit and wasn't picking up nothing. It was like, they would charge the local artists to perform. They would charge the local artists to perform, and the local artists would bring 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 people sometimes to this event that will pay to get in. It's like, how is you charging them and they bringing you revenue?
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
and then, you know, when it kept happening with the little homies and they was just doing it because they got money, like, you know, man,
Meaning paying to
yeah,
on
it was just so much.
their own stage, technically.
Exactly.
Right.
Now, and it was radio as well. Like, you know, the Summer Jams events didn't consist of of mostly Detroit artists. They consist of everybody from everywhere else, and the Detroit artists would get charged.
Wow.
And I was like, stop everything. Now the only entertainment around this gonna be what's here.
Right.
So we're gonna get acquainted with what we got around these corners, and then we'll start letting a few trinklets in one at a time. And if anybody violated,
Who has he leaned on in the past? And has anyone ever paid a deadly price for refusing to bow down? It's time to dig into the receipts and trace how this whole extortion hustle even slipped its way into hip-hop. Because one thing's for sure, it didn't start here. The roots of extortion stretch way back to 18th century Italy, when local mafia figures would slip threatening notes under shopkeepers' doors warning that if they didn't pay up, their homes or businesses could be burned to the ground. That fear-driven hustle eventually crossed oceans and dug itself deep into American soil. By the time the mafia had its grip on cities like New York, Chicago, and Philly, entire neighborhoods were living in terror. Those shakedowns became standard operating procedure, and soon enough, local gangs and street crews started copying the same playbook. Then came hip-hop, exploding into a billion-dollar industry practically overnight. And just like sharks circling fresh blood in the water, predators moved in on rappers. Extortion became stitched into the fabric of the culture, and not even icons were immune. Just look at Tupac's story. Years after his death, in 2011, the FBI unsealed files that exposed a jaw-dropping extortion ring. Those documents reveal that the Jewish Defense League, labeled by the FBI as a right-wing extremist group, was allegedly shaking down big-name artists. They weren't just making idle threats either. According to the files, they squeezed protection money out of labels like Ruthless Records and artists including Tupac and Eazy-E, backing it all with chilling death threats. The 1997 papers spelled it out crystal clear. JDL and other, yet unidentified, have been extorting money from various rap music stars via death threats. That's not gossip.
What is going on with you in Detroit? There was a show that you were supposed to perform, right? And you made, you referenced it on your Twitter.
Right.
You made light of it. But now it's like the headlines are crazy. The blogs are like, Rick Ross is fearful of his life. He can't come to Detroit anymore.
Right.
So no fly zone. What's happening? What's going on with that?
Somebody is misleading our quite like yo, we went out to Detroit, we had a gig to go to, so the team head over, to the gig. And I got my team, so my team is always in front of me, just to make it clear. I never even made it to the venue.
Okay.
I never made it to the venue. Me and whoever this gentleman is, we never crossed paths. He never spoke with Rose, and I expect him to clarify.
That's federal evidence. The FBI laid the entire blueprint bare. Unnamed suspects would unleash terrifying calls, issue death threats, and then reappear offering protection for a price. It was the same old mafia trick, just dressed up in the rap industry. One shocking report even claimed that Eric Wright, better known to the world as Eazy-E, was caught up in this very same extortion right before his tragic death from AIDS.
I expect him, I expect him to tell y'all, we never talked to Rose, we never spoke to MG, but anyway, the caravan on the way to the venue, and they get there and someone has locked the gates to the venue, padlocked or however they did it, the gate was locked. It was gentlemen supposed to be here. This I didn't see myself.
Okay.
It was supposed to be gentlemen here who were talking with the police, and it was very peaceful. For my team that made it,
There before you.
Right. They didn't even know it was a problem, and so, that's the promoter's job, So,
To guarantee that it's
right,
a
just
safe situation.
Right, so, the promoter himself said, let's get it fixed. We say, let's go to the casino. Shout out to Greektown Casino. So we went back to the casino, and that's where we chilled, and that's when I got the story that there was supposed to be
mob gang, and that's totally false. You know, when I let that breathe for a whole day, just expecting somebody to step up and say that's not true. No one spoke to MMG. No one.
So what happens now? Like, do you go back to Detroit?
I mean, for me personally,
your fans are out there. They want to see you.
I mean, for me personally, of course it ain't personal because I was paid and I was paid well. You understand? And I just feel bad for those kids that stood out there 6 hours.
Right.
That wanted to see Ricky Rose and couldn't see the boss because someone padlocked the gate. So for whatever reason they did this, I don't understand it. Because if it's somebody that's supposed to be from the jungle, in the jungle you don't lock the lions out. You let the lions in and lock them in.
His name wasn't the only one tied to the scheme either. Tupac's was right there in those FBI files as well. Investigators believed he, too, was being targeted in the shadows long before that fateful night in Las Vegas took him from the world. Fast forward to today, and make no mistake, the hustle didn't vanish. It simply evolved. The faces may have changed, the tactics may look different, but the same playbook of intimidation, fear, and protection money is still alive and breathing inside hip-hop. Today, many street gangs across America treat rapper extortion as a steady income stream. The so-called check-in rule has become the cost of doing business. If an artist rolls through certain cities without showing respect, or without paying up, they risk getting pressed, robbed, humiliated, or worse. In exchange, they are promised a pass to move untouched, with locals pocketing the so-called security fees or even carving out stage time at shows. But don't get it twisted. This isn't just about rookies. Even the biggest names have found themselves cornered. Take Kanye West. When he touched down in Philly, things went left in seconds. 1 minute he's chilling in a diner with friends. The next, a crew of shady figures slide in. They weren't eating, weren't talking, just watching. The air shifted. The tension was heavy. Kanye, never one to bite his tongue, clapped back in his own way. He told them straight up he wasn't signing no permission slips. Respect had to be mutual, nothing less. But even he had to tuck his jewelry and keep calm until Philly legend Beanie Siegel stormed in and shut the whole thing down. That night proved that even megastars aren't above street politics. And if Philly was a warning, Detroit is a whole other battlefield. The Motor City operates by its own code, an infamous no-fly zone enforced by Trick himself. On Drink Champs, he broke it down in plain language. If you're a rapper sliding through Detroit, you better come correct, show respect, and pay what's owed, or don't bother stepping foot at all. Nobody learned that harder than Rick Ross. In 2014, Ross was set to headline a massive summer jam in Detroit. But the moment he hit the venue, about 100 locals blocked the gates, making it crystal clear he wasn't welcome. His show was canceled on the spot, and the no-fly zone legend only grew stronger. As Trick explained, checking in is just like paying state taxes. The streets run on the same system. The ones with power collect the dues. Miss that payment, and you're out of business. Big U, Trick, whoever these gatekeepers are, the message stays the same. Artists flood into these cities, sell out shows, run up millions, and then dip out without giving anything back. So the streets came up with their own system. The logic? If we don't collect, the block will. Either way, you're paying. It isn't about friendship. It isn't about loyalty. It's about business. Pay the toll, and you're good. Word is, Rick Ross felt that sting firsthand, even though he tried to rewrite the story later, swearing he could touch Detroit anytime. The streets never forgot that summer jam shut down. And the truth is, Detroit isn't alone. Atlanta runs on its own rules, too. During a video shoot in East Atlanta, D.A. Baby found himself pressed hard by locals who claimed he was trespassing on their turf. They tried intimidation. They tried flexing. But D.A. Baby didn't fold. He stood tall, unfazed, and later admitted on Vlad TV that the situation could have gone deadly. Just not for him, for the ones who thought they could check him. Meanwhile, industry voices like Joe Budden downplay the whole thing, calling it just another part of the game. He's even compared extortion to paying taxes. Annoying, but necessary. And sometimes, paying taxes comes in the form of straight-up ransom recoveries. Take Jay Prince's own words. He once bragged about getting a call after NBA YoungBoy's home was robbed in Houston. Keys, cars, and valuables all gone. And instead of silence, Prince jumped online, claiming he had the stolen goods, showing off Rolls-Royce umbrellas, keys, and luxury items, telling YoungBoy to get in contact to set things right. To outsiders, it looked like generosity, but to many in the industry, it felt like extortion dressed as charity. YoungBoy wasn't buying it either. He clapped back on IG Live, saying flat out, "If you got something for me, call me direct. Don't play internet games. And I don't need your keys. Gangster, I buy cash. 2 keys come with a car anyway." That clash put everything in the open. Street politics colliding with rap in real time. But the tension didn't stop there. Because then came the tragedy that shook hip-hop forever. The death of Takeoff in Houston, November 2022. At the time, he was under the so-called protection of Jay Prince's own son, Jazz Prince. And ever since that night, fans haven't stopped connecting dots, questioning how the culture of extortion and checking in played into one of rap's darkest losses. The whispers only got louder when Kendrick Lamar dropped that scathing dysphoria, tearing into Drake while sliding in lines many believe were aimed directly at Jay Prince and his son. Kendrick rapped about Drake's daddy and his junior, hinting both father and son got skeletons buried deep. Fans saw that as a crystal clear warning. Stay out of Kendrick's war with Drake, or risk having those dark secrets dragged into the light. And that takes us straight to Kendrick's right-hand soldier, Schoolboy Q, the latest rapper bold enough to call out this whole checking-in culture. He didn't sugarcoat it. When asked if LA is one of the most dangerous places for rappers, Q didn't hesitate. Yeah, because everybody checking in with somebody that's just gonna rob you stupid. He mocked the idea of trusting a random dude with beef across the city to keep you safe. His advice? Go to your hotel, get some food, do your business, and stay out the way. No fake politics. No fake protection. He even laughed at rappers hitting his phone to check in while he's at home playing video games or taking his daughter to soccer practice. To him, the whole system is goofy and is never playing that game. But here's where it gets juicy. Schoolboy Q had 2 shows in Canada cancelled. Rumor has it Drake pulled strings behind the scenes. And it didn't stop there. Word is Drake tried the same move in Houston, banking on Jay Prince to block anybody tied to Kendrick and TD. But the twist? Jay Prince didn't lift a finger. Looked like he was done fighting Drake's battles. The proof was right there on August 3rd, when Schoolboy Q lit up Houston's House of Blues with a sold-out crowd. Fans dragged Drake online, calling him delusional for thinking he could control Houston from Canada and decide who gets to perform on American stages. And Jay Prince? He caught heat too. People are saying he's too old to be playing Street Boss in 2025. One fan put it bluntly, Drake and Jay Prince, corny AF. Accept the L and just make a better song. Another said, a 60-year-old gangster baby boomer still trying to act tough? Sit down already. No respect for that generation who wrecked the neighborhoods in the 70s, 80s, and 90s and now still want to play boss like nothing changed. So now I got to ask you, what's your take? Is Jay Prince really still running these alleged extortion plays? And did Drake actually try to blacklist TDE from touching Houston stages? Or is this just industry gossip getting out of control? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear every angle. And if you're rocking with this breakdown, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with your people. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.